Sharper Point Commentary, presented by Schwartz Laser Eye Center.
Even with some of my fiscally conservative leanings, I've always seen the value of unions. And it's not just because I was raised by a man who spent the last 20 years of his career as a machinist in the United Mine Workers Union. My stepdad ended up being vice president of his local, something that made him fairly anti-union because he saw how the national union didn't always have the local workers' best interests in heart. So I have to ask, how will shutting down 36 U.S. ports from Maine to Texas, as the International Longshoremen's Association is doing, help their 45,000 dock workers? It sure won't help us consumers because it'll hurt the supply chain. This retailer tells ABC News that all the East and Gulf Coast ports being closed will cost us more money.
If all the East Coast and the Gulf Coast ports are closed, businesses will be bringing things in from the West Coast, which will cause more congestion there, and you have to transport that all the way across the country. Ultimately, what that means is higher costs for consumers.
Yeah, but who cares about the East Coast, right? Well, we should, and even for selfish reasons, because it will mean fewer goods staying here in the West and reduce the availability of goods everywhere, resulting in higher prices. Higher prices that Democrats can't blame on the ridiculous notion that Kamala Harris keeps pushing in her ads. Price gouging. And ABC's Jim Ryan told us this strike might not be fixed quickly. Not even in time for Christmas, really?
The International Longshoremen's Association is demanding a 77% pay raise over the 6-year life of the contract. They're also asking that automation be pulled out of the ports. They say machines are costing humans jobs.
Yeah, they want a total ban on the automation of cranes, gates, and trucks that are used in the loading or unloading of freight at those 36 U.S. ports. This brings to mind an American folklore hero by the name of John Henry, who I learned about as a tiny Arizona school kid. A freed slave, John Henry is said to have worked as a steel driving man, hammering a steel drill into a rock to make holes for explosives to blast the rock necessary to make railroad tunnels. His story's told in a classic blues folk song about his duel against a drilling machine, going way back to the 1800s, in which John Henry's prowess as a steel driver was measured in a race against a steam-powered rock drill, a race that he won, only to die in victory with a hammer in his hand as his heart gave out from the stress. You can't stop progress. You have to figure out a way to work in the world the way it is moving, because you can't turn back the clock. And even if you've got a bunch of progressive politicians in your corner, well, isn't that stopping progress?
Thanks for watching Sharper Point. Click to see more from Arizona's Morning News and tap the button in the middle to subscribe.